Hello everyone, today we will be making this easy one button adjustable crochet ear savers or face mask adapter. Okay, so this one is like a belt type ear saver that has notches to help you adjust the length of the ear savers. Here I have made already a few and I'm planning to make more to be donated to nearby hospitals. You may have seen a different design before, the one with two buttons, but I like this one better, the one button adjustable design. And this is the one that I am making right now. I have seen patterns around, but they don't work with me because they use a different weight yarn than the one that I have. So I made this guide or tutorial that will work with many different yarn weights. This design works like this. Like I said, it's just like a belt. Insert the button into the buttonhole like so, and if you want it tighter, just move up a notch. Okay, and see, it's really adjustable. So I made 10 buttonholes. Okay, and this one is the longest. It's about 6 inches. Okay, I just based it on the old versions, and the shortest that it can go is about 3 inches. That's the 10th hole right there. Okay, so if you want it shorter, just add more buttonholes, maybe about 12 or so. Okay, but for me this one is the shortest, 3 inches. So this is worn like this. It can be under your bun or your ponytail or on top. And this is the side view. I also asked my husband to try it on, and he used the first notch and the longest one. He's a big man, by the way. So we need scissors, needle, your crochet hook, yarn, button, and a measuring tape or a ruler. Okay, so let's start with a slip knot. Okay, and you don't need to leave a really long tail. About 3 inches is enough. So make a foundation chain. I don't have a specific number of chains, just keep making them until you reach 12 inches or 1 foot. Of course, you can count your chains. So if you're planning to make some more, you will already have a guide, and you don't have to keep measuring your chain foundation every time you start a project. For me, I need 70 chains to reach 1 foot. Okay, and I'm using fingering weight yarn. This is fine cotton yarn and a 3mm crochet hook. So it's the length that we are after. That's why we don't have a specific number of chains, because if we're using different yarn weights or different crochet hook sizes, okay, we would need different number of stitches to reach that 1 foot length. And there we already have 1 foot chain foundation, and that's 70 chains for me. Okay, so let's proceed to row 2. So make a double crochet on the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, because the first 3 chains would serve as a double crochet as well. So it means that we already have 2 double crochets right there, and then chain 1. Okay, and skip 1 stitch from your chain foundation. So skip 1 chain and then double crochet on the next one. Okay, so we will now have a chain space right there. Okay, and then another double crochet on the next chain. Okay, So there we already have that hole for our button. So that's our first buttonhole. Okay, so my button is a bit small. Okay, right there it's about half an inch, and it fits perfectly into that space. Okay, if you will be using a bigger button, so you can try to see if it fits in that one chain space, but if it doesn't, maybe you can try doing 2 chains and then skipping 2 stitches from your foundation crochet, from your chain foundation. So just keep repeating this pattern. So chain 1, skip 1 stitch from your chain foundation, and then double crochet on the next 2 stitches, and so on. Okay, until you reach the number of spaces or buttonholes that you want to have on your ear saver. For me, I stopped at 10. So here we already have 10 chain spaces. So next will be just double crochets, okay, all the way to the end of our foundation chain. Okay, so like I said, we don't have a specific number of stitches. I don't even know how many I have left here. Okay, just finish it with double crochets until you reach the end. So double crochet on each stitch of your foundation chain. Okay, so just continue doing that, and let's meet at the end of this row. So we are at the end of round 2. If you used a thicker yarn and your ear saver feels sturdy enough, okay, you can end your work right here. You can cut your yarn, okay, just leave a tail and sew the button on the ear saver. Okay, but for me it feels a bit flimsy, so I will add a row of single crochet. Okay, so around, so I will add another row, so both sides, okay, right there, all single crochet to make it sturdier. Okay, but again, if you have used a thicker yarn and it's already wide enough and sturdy enough, you can skip this row of single crochets. So for round 3, just chain 1 and single crochet around that double crochet stitch, and another one, okay, around the double crochet stitch as well, there, and chain 1, okay, and single crochet on top of that double crochet. It actually doesn't have to be perfect, okay, just make sure that you reach the other side. Okay, so when you're already on the other side, just keep on making single crochets, okay, on each stitch. Alright, so just keep making single crochets and see you in a while. Okay, so when you reach this part where we have the buttonholes, so just single crochet around the chain space. Okay, again, I just continue this pattern, single crochet on the double crochets and then around the chain space. Okay, so just keep doing so until the end. So we're at the corner right here at the end, so I will just make a single crochet on that chain. Okay, so that's actually the 3 chains right there that works as a double crochet at the beginning, and then chain 1. So again, this part doesn't matter what you do, just make sure that you reach the other side. So what I did is make 2 single crochets around that chain that works as a double crochet, okay, and then keep on doing single crochet until I reach the other side. So same thing, just single crochet again on each stitch. Okay, so on top of those double crochets and around the chain space. Okay, so just keep doing so until you reach the end. So all the way right there. Okay, so all of those stitches until you reach the end, that one. Okay, so we're here at the end of the row, so just slip stitch. Okay, and then you can cut off the tail right there. I will leave about 3 inches long, and that's the same yarn that I will use to sew the button on. Okay, so right there, just fasten it off like that. So now we have 2 tails, okay, the beginning tail and this one at the end. So insert your yarn into your needle. So we're ready to sew the button now. Make sure that your work is facing up. I mean, the right side is up, because that's where we will put on the button. Okay, so just sew in the tail. Okay, so it's now on the wrong side, and go back in. Okay, make sure that you insert your needle into a stitch, not on those gaps right there. Okay, so I just think it's more secure if you insert your needle through a stitch. Okay, and put it on that buttonhole, go through the other side, other one, and again I want to insert the needle into a stitch right there. Okay, I just feel that it's more secure. Okay, and make sure that it's really tight, and do the same thing. Okay, so one more round right there, and through the hole. I'm just making sure that it's really tight and secure. So you don't really have to do the same way that I'm doing right now. I mean, if you have a different sewing technique, that's okay too. This is just my way. So this is just one tail right here, and then what I will be doing next is remove that yarn from the needle. Okay, and insert the other tail right there, that tail from the beginning of our foundation chain. Okay, because right now I'm just seeing that they're both on that side, and I want them to be on the opposite side of the button, and I also want to give another round of thread or yarn into those buttonholes right there. So one more time. So that's actually the third one, and this time it's actually a little bit tight already. I'm having a hard time pulling through that hole, then the needle, pulling the needle through that hole. Again, you don't really have to do this the same way that I did. If you want to insert that yarn less than 3 times through the button, that's okay. If you want to do it more than 3 times, that's fine too, as long as you're sure that it's tight and secure like that. Okay, so I'm ready to fasten off these tails. So I will just tie them together into a knot like so. Okay, this is usually how I fasten these tails right there. So that's one. So I'm just making sure that it's tight right there, and then one more. Okay, this time I will wrap it like 3 times like that, and then tightly pull them apart like that. Okay, so this way I don't have to weave in the ends, because I don't like doing that actually. So right there, it's actually already secure, but if you want to tie another more knot, that's fine. I actually tried to unravel this and it's really hard. I did not succeed, so I think that's secure enough. And then cut off the tails and you should be done. Okay, right there. And your ear saver is finished. There, so let's see, okay, if this would work. So that's the longest that it could go, I mean the length. Let's measure it. Okay, if we did all right. So there. Okay, again, like I said, about 6 inches. And let's see the, anyway, you know how it works. So I think we covered that in the beginning. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you like this tutorial. Please subscribe and click on the bell button to be notified for new videos. Okay, so I will just try it here with the mask. Okay, so anyway, we all know how it works. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.